Spoilers!
Hello, old friend. Here we are. Leela wants us to go on a quest this week, and I'm looking for my heart. Moffat tore it out last Saturday, and all that's left is this aching hole in my chest. First, I tried something that can always make me laugh.
Hello and welcome back. Captain Blake, Lego Harry Potter, use 537. Stop trying to shoot me, woman.
And for a while, it worked.
Okay.
But then,
Oh, everybody, that's not a normal pond. That's a bad pond. It is. Oh, I knocked that thing so hard that it dropped.
and that's when I fell apart again. So I tried to take my mind off it by getting out of my room and being surrounded by other people. But there was still this hole in my chest, that nagging ache. Tumblr is not making this any better. In fact, it's just making me relive the moments over and over again. But then I found this, and it gave me something to hold on to. Amy J. Williams, journalist, writer, and activist. Amy Williams' life could have fallen from the pages of one of her children's books. It was every bit as weird and wonderful as her fairy tale creations. A British nationalist, she settled in New York under mysterious circumstances in 1963. So little is known of her earlier life that many speculate she once worked for a government, and indeed she had a personal and highly critical relationship with Richard Nixon. Often she was the only journalist he would speak to, claiming they shared a common acquaintance. Her husband was Rory Arthur Williams, whose death in 2000 left her bereft of her lifelong companion. Yet she adjusted to widowhood with the same fiery resilience that made her such a force to be reckoned with in the circles she moved in. A year after Rory's death, she organized a well-received exhibit of the works of Vincent van Gogh at the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. To remind me was the reason she gave for taking on such a task in her twilight years. Although she had no biological children, Amy and her husband adopted a little girl they found living on the streets of New York. Her name was Melody, and they raised her not only with love, but in luxury. For within months of arriving in New York City, the Williamses had already made their fortune. Young Melody was black while her adoptive parents were white. When this caused consternation in 60s New York, Amy and Rory dispatched any critics quickly and ruthlessly, using tactics ranging from blackmail to espionage to just plain shouting at people. Amelia Williams exposed countless corrupt officers of the law and fought viciously for changes in the corrupt laws as well. She was not successful in all endeavors, but was successful enough that countless men and women owe a great debt to her. In later life, she released a series of children's books that were massively popular among young readers. One of these was the lavishly illustrated The Legends of Pandora's Box, which sold over 1 million copies. Amelia Jessica Williams traveled the world, unsettled the powerful, raised a child, and inspired millions of people, an extraordinary life by anyone's standards. When asked in an interview mere months before her death what drove her, she thought about it for a moment before answering. A long time ago, I would have said to make him proud, but no more, although I know I've done that. Just simply, so there would be no more children crying. I grew tired of waiting for the world to be better. When I found this article, I found a small piece of my heart as well. Sure, I'm gonna miss the ponds, but I guess they lived happily ever after isn't such a bad ending. I guess Moffat wins the "You weren't as big of a jerk as you could have been" award. So bye-bye, ponds. You take a part of my heart with you as you leave. But I guess there's always reruns.
Dear Santa, thank you for the dolls and pencils and fish. It's Easter now, so I hope I didn't wake you. But honest, it is an emergency. There's a crack in my wall.